TWiGames.com.
Welcome to this week's episode of TWiGames.com. We begin with Modern Warfare 2 winning the Most Pirated Game of the Year award and some speculation on the PS4. But first, it looks like Xbox Live is making its way to mobile phones. Brian, are you happy that you're going to be able to listen to racial slurs on the go?
This is a tremendous opportunity for Microsoft, and the only way it's going to work is if they can get out of their own way. All right, we have Android, Windows Mobile, iPhone, and all these other OSs out there, and Windows Mobile is the worst.
Yeah.
Okay? So what do they need to do? They need to open up to everyone. Just make it a platform that can work on Android. Stop being closed.
No, I agree. Like, this has been a problem with the 360 since it came out, where like they always close themselves off. Remember Unreal Tournament 3 came to PS3 because 360 wouldn't allow mods?
Yeah.
Like, it's been a problem. Like, just open up, guys. Like, this is a great idea, and this is something that should have been out there 2 years ago.
And they can do it. They're capable of it.
What I think would be cool about this, I mean, because I actually already have an application on the iPhone. You know, I can go on, see who's online, I can message you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's not official. If it was official and I could, you know, pop in a headset while I'm waiting in line at the movies, see you're online, and actually talk to you instead of calling you, that would be awesome.
Be like, lol, this movie stinks.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Or you're playing Modern Warfare 2, you know, I can check my stats or my level and, you know, like the experience. That would be sweet.
And that would make you sort of have more brand loyalty and be more into gaming.
Right.
There's so many plus sides to it. It's just, why aren't they doing it? This is the same thing with games for Windows Live. What a wasted opportunity. They could have a huge Steam-like thing, yet they don't. Because for some reason, the Xbox Live team knows what they're doing and everyone else doesn't.
Last point about this, though, is what I'm afraid of is this going to be a platinum membership now? I think they set it up with a silver and a gold because they knew somewhere down the line they were going to have a platinum, and this might be it.
And
so
you know every rapper is going to pick up the platinum.
Oh, you got to get the platinum.
Last year, the most pirated game of the year was Spore, and according to Torrent Freak, the most pirated game this year is Modern Warfare 2, over 4.1 million copies pirated on just the PC version alone. Rich, should Infinity Ward make dedicated servers for these pirates?
Absolutely not, Bri. I mean, look at this. Why do you think Infinity Ward didn't want to cater to the PC market to begin with?
Well, obviously it's because they're lazy and that they're trying to ruin PC gaming,
yeah,
Rich.
I mean, but that's what all these boycotters were saying. Oh, Infinity Ward's turning their back on us. No, they're not. PC gamers are turning their back on these developers by pirating these games. And like I said, you know, a few weeks ago, I guarantee you most of the people who boycotted it, who are still probably playing it, by the way, you know, are people who pirated the game and were going to pirate the game. And you know, half the time I think that these people are just, every game that comes out they complain about, I think they're just trying to convince themselves that pirating the game is okay.
You think that's what the boycott was about?
No, I think that's what the boycott is about.
I can kind of see that.
Screw them, they're screwing us. I'm going to screw them. I'm not paying for this game.
Yeah, no.
Come on.
But I mean, let's be serious though. Those boycotters look silly now because if you're not going to support the game, why would they put money into it?
Right.
Of course they're not. Of course they're going to support the version where people actually buy the game and give them money for it.
And guess what, PC gamers? The next big FPS is not going to have dedicated servers either because you pirated this game 4.1 million times. Why would they invest time and effort and money into doing something that people are just going to steal? It doesn't make any sense.
At least a lot of people are enjoying the game, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Japanese website PC Watch is reporting that Sony is looking into a more traditional multi-core processor for the PS3 successor. According to the insider info, they were interested in Intel's Larrabee chip, but they wanted more raw power. Brian, is the PS4 going to be capable of Toy Story 3 type graphics?
Not only is it going to be capable of it, but the new chip is going to be called the emotional chip. And it's going to blow your mind. Obviously, this makes sense in a way, but this is weird because what has the Wii proven? Consumers don't really care about raw power. But
certain consumers, okay.
But it's shown that developers do because developers have shunned the Wii.
Right.
So they obviously care about that kind of stuff. This makes sense. But what I don't like about it is, let's say, you know, the 360 is probably going to have a multi-core. It's just going to homogenize it even more. I feel like Sony needs to do something to stand out instead of just going with the same old, same old.
Well, I mean, first of all, just because they're looking at, you know, more power and stuff doesn't mean that they're not going to have something to stand out.
Yeah.
You know, they've already talked about 3D gaming and all that stuff. They're going to have something to stand out. But if next generation, they're making it so that the 360 and PS3 are easier to develop for, I think that the favor goes to Sony on this one. Because one of 360's huge advantages this gen was that it's easier to develop for. If you put them on an even, you know, playing field, Sony has much better first-party support than Microsoft, in my opinion. So I think, you know, if they're both easy to develop for from a third-party standpoint, and Sony has the one-up on first-party games, that puts them at a big advantage.
I can see that, but I still think Sony needs to do something from a hardware perspective to take that advantage because you know next gen's not really going to be about the hardware.
Right.
It's
4D gaming.
4D gaming.
Have you not heard of 4D gaming? It's coming out. It's going to be on PS4. I mean, they've talked about it for years, Bri. It's coming.
The CEO of BioWare said about single-player games, I think the future of single-player games is quite bright, but the online extension of those games is something that's going to be very likely. Rich, as a cave-dwelling, human interaction hating, single-player loving, passionate man, are you going to quit video games in 5 years?
Brian, the day that I can't just sit down all alone without anybody bothering me whatsoever and just play a game for 10 hours straight is the day I don't quit gaming, but the day I do consider quitting gaming. Look, I love single-player games. I love multiplayer games. But in between multiplayer games, I need my dosage of just being alone, no one bothering me. Let me play, okay? I don't want messages. I don't want people talking to me. I'm all for, making it more social with like leaderboards and stuff like that, right? But if I can't just play a single player game by myself, then
you're done.
I'm done. I'm gonna be very disappointed.
You're gonna explode the man cave, and you're never gonna go there again.
Exactly. I'll tell you what though, this is pretty ironic that this is coming from BioWare, right? BioWare, who a couple weeks ago was talking trash about JRPGs and they haven't done anything new. Oh, but now for single player games, we need to make them more social. Well, guess what? 2 JRPGs over the past year, Demon's Souls and White Knight Chronicles, have made the single-player experience more social.
And I think they did a good job implementing it.
They did a great job.
Especially Demon's Souls. Here's the thing with me, though. I always think games are social.
Yeah.
That's a big component of my game. And I remember when I played WoW a lot, I would have just as much fun reading, watching videos, and typing on the forums about WoW and also playing it. So I think this would help. Stuff like BungieNet is highly successful, and the reason why Halo is so big, because it engrosses you into the game. So I think this can only help, but I'm with you.
Halo and World of Warcraft, the actual games are also social.
That's true.
But I think that what developers don't realize is that, like Assassin's Creed 2, that was a single-player game, no online anything, right? But that's still a social experience because much like Lost, you still go online after and you talk about it. You talk about the story. That's where the social aspect comes into play with these single-player games.
So having said that, I agree with you. If they need to put it a good implementation, they can't just half go at it.
Yeah.
It's got to be good like BungieNet.
Yeah.
For something like Assassin's Creed or anything kind of single player.
J. Allen Brock, the production manager for World of Warcraft, said of Blizzard, "We're a culture of gamers. We will definitely work on a console game at some point. I have no doubt about that." Brian, we require more Vespene gas.
We definitely require it, and I don't want this to happen ever. I don't want Blizzard making console games, noobing up their games for the noobs, with all the noobiness and noobing it up for the noobiness.
Look at you, Brian. Look at you. Yeah. Look what you're turning into.
Blizzard games have depth. You can't have depth if you're limited to this controller and you got to cater to the noobs. I don't want to see this happen at all.
Brian, you're turning into an egotistical PC gamer. What is wrong with you?
We're the gods, and everyone else is
right
below
before
us.
my eyes, Brian. What's going on here? Look, if you're talking about all this noob stuff, right, for console games, well, guess what? Maybe a developer like Blizzard could make a console game and make them less newbie, right?
Yeah.
You think so highly of Blizzard. Wouldn't it be a good thing if they came to consoles and started, implementing PC-only mechanisms into console games? Wouldn't that be a good thing?
It would be a good thing, but I have that Pixar worry. Blizzard's flawless. I don't want them to make that one flawed game. I don't want to see
StarCraft Ghost?
Yeah, I don't want to see Ghost. When I saw Ghost, I was like, what is this generic console game?
Yeah, but that never came out though, right?
Yeah.
Because they were probably like, okay, this is a generic console game. Let's not even put it out. So they're not stupid enough to taint the name Blizzard, okay?
So what could they be doing?
Diablo 3.
That does make sense.
Diablo 3 makes sense to come out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It's it's the type of game that they might even like. I mean, Borderlands is the Diablo of the FPS generation. Well, Diablo could be the Diablo of this generation, right?
And having said all this, let's be honest. I'm such a Blizzard fanboy.
Yeah.
If they made a game on the consoles where you have to pacify crying babies and it was called Pacify Craft, Tides of Lullabies, I'd buy it.
You would buy it, right?
I'd buy it. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. It's all about 2010, our anticipated games, predictions, and our resolutions. Stick around. We'll be right back.